I have the pleasure to have this phone with Dr. Hassan Wagih, Professor of Political Science. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon to you.
Well, good afternoon. Well, Dr. Wagih, how do you see the importance of the conference as a kind of support to the efforts that is exerted by the government to help and support needy citizens in Egypt?
Yes, this is very important step and very important convention because this will shed light on how the civil society plays a very vital role in developing and in, by the way, in political science literature, the definition of civil society is to mediate between the government and the citizen, and to work for the sake of both of them should work for the sake of the citizen.
Yes, so the President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi in several occasions have stressed the importance of the NGOs and especially the private sector in the charity work. Could you give us your insight concerning this point?
Yes, I think it's very important that the President is having a very keen observation and he is trying to include the efforts of the civil society within the framework of developing the entire country. Egypt, in particular, has a long history in civil society and the NGOs. Don't forget that Cairo University was created as an NGO. National Club of Egypt, which is very famous among Egyptians, is an NGO. Many institutions, the Red Cross, so many Egyptian efforts were exerted to establish Egypt as a very old nation when it comes to know the meaning and the function of civil society. So it's good that our president is taking care of that and enhancing that role.
Yes, so Dr. Wagih, in President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi's address to the conference today, the President said that hailed, of course, the alliance and its great effort and the role it plays in the society and also in achieving sustainable social and economic development. Could you explain to us this point, please?
Yes, I think you know, the traditional role of the civil society is to give a very strong help to the government and to the citizen together and begin between them and try to find the best ways for improving life. The president wants a decent life. So the civil society has a great stake to play in this. And when it comes to, let us say this is with ordinary situations, but how about the crisis? We have an international crisis that is taking its toll and its consequences on all countries. So the role of civil society should be enhanced further and further.
Yes, yes. Bless you. Dr. Wagih, also the Alliance have exerted several efforts to support the society and the citizens in Egypt. For example, when the winter season, before the winter season started, they made the campaign titled, under the title, a warmer winter and they distributed the blankets on the citizens and the needy families. How do you see this step?
Yes, I think as I've said, the civil society has a great potential to help and to spread its effort throughout the entire Republic of Egypt.
Yes.
And I think we have already, in this conference and in other situations, we have listened to very good successful stories where Egyptians get together to help the needy and to provide their input into the initiative of the president about decent life for everyone in the country.
Yes, also, Dr. Wagih, the Alliance also helped the state and the citizens by providing a variety of services to citizens, on top of which was the medical convoys they make, and also distributing also educational supplies for the students to help the needy families, and also food and other supplies. How do you see this?
Yes, when it comes to the civil society efforts, we have seen convoys when it comes to medication and medical convoys,
Yes.
and when it comes to education, as you have already mentioned. And I think, yes, there is a very tough job needs to be done. The crisis generated its own consequences. So the civil society role is extremely vital and very important in trying to fill any gap and to be united together to help the government, and the government should help the civil society, and everybody should come to a cooperative principle that would really enhance the life of the citizens, especially when it comes to this difficult crisis that we are facing along with other countries in the world as well.
Yes, yes. So, Doctor, also the president during his speech before the conference, he said that the state is keen on cooperating with the National Alliance to support agriculture and also help launch land reclamation projects by small or junior farmers. So, what's your comment on this?
Yeah, I think that we have listened to successful stories today for some members of the society who really went for cultivating the land and producing crops from different types. And I think this should be enhanced and should be um, helped out because all the infrastructure that's needed for the citizen to launch such initiatives should be available and should be sustainable and should be renewed and should be much more open than that too.
Yes, Dr. Wagih, also the president during his statements before the conference today, he mentioned the sentence of economic development, encouraging the alliance to continue its sustainable social, achieving sustainable social and economic development. How would the alliance be able to push forward the economic development?
Yes, as I've said, the social role that should be played by the civil society is very needed, and the civil society, on the other hand, has great potentialities in exerting a lot of effort, bridging the gaps, and trying to fulfill the sustainable development objectives of the entire country.
Yes, so Dr. Wagih, also the state provides also its help and support to boost the activities of the National Alliance. What is the kind of cooperation that takes place between the state and the several ministries in the country? In Egypt to cooperate with the National Alliance. And the first example of this cooperation, of course, is the organizing of this conference, of course.
Yes, of course. So when it comes to uh, playing the team role games, I think that the ministries in the government that's concerned with helping and pave the way for the civil society to launch its activities is extremely needed because the role of civil society will not be complete without big support, moral support, and procedural support, and underline this term, procedural support that would facilitate the potentialities and trying to help the civil society to launch its full potentialities. So I think a cooperative work between the government and the civil society is needed, and when it comes to this conference, I think this should be one good step in the right direction.
Yes, also, Dr. Wagih, the President had instructed an increase in the government support directed to the alliance by an additional £1 billion. So what is the influence of this step?
Yes, I think financial support plus moral support plus procedural support all are needed to help activate the potentialities of the civil society along with the potentialities of the governmental efforts in the right direction, which is serving the Egyptian citizens.
Yes, yes. So, Dr. Wagih, also, how do you view the cooperation between the presidential initiatives that were launched by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and the society civil institutions? The cooperation, the presidential initiatives like the Decent Life Initiative, which aims at raising the standards of living of the more than 60 million Egyptians living in Egypt, and especially in Upper Egypt, and also initiatives like Dignity and Solidarity, Takaful وكرامة, several initiatives that were launched by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. What is the kind of cooperation, and how would each other benefit this initiatives and the activities of the coalition would result in the benefit to the Egyptian citizen?
Yes, it's very important to state here that all these kinds of initiatives, as you have already mentioned some of them, yes, some initiatives are launched by the government, and this is very important, and I think there should be multiple efforts to enhance this initiative and to complete these initiatives, and also to open the floor for much more initiatives that would complement all the efforts that would really serve the Egyptian citizens when it comes to health initiatives, educational initiatives, and decent life initiatives.
Yes, so Dr. Wagih, how would the Alliance and its activities would help in providing job opportunities for youth?
Yes, I think if the government would help the civil society in the expected manner and expected way that all Egyptians are expecting, I think here you can launch the potentiality and the efforts of the Egyptian society, civil society, which could really open up for projects when it comes to agriculture, health, education, in all fields of the basic life of an Egyptian life. And I think this would help in the final analysis the sustainable development efforts.
Yes, also despite the job opportunities provided by the coalition and its activities, also there are the volunteering youth who help in voluntary work. How do you see the importance of this?
Yes, anything that's really intended to help the youth feel that they are real partners in their country, in the development of their country, I think this should be commendable and should be very important, because Egypt is having more than half of its population when it comes to youth. So I think they should have their own place.
Yes.
There should be bridging of gaps that would enhance the role. They are the future. So I think we should exert all necessary efforts to empower the youth.
Yes. Also, Dr. Wagih, how would the alliance activities also help in increasing the production and achieving economic returns for the state and for the citizens?
Yes, I said uh, previously the mutual encouragement, the mutual cooperation, and the mutual facilitation role. These are all needed to achieve such a task.
Yes, the president during his speech also before the conference also called on the alliance to build on its success and to intensify support in the year during the year 2023 given the current global economic challenges. What's your comment?